Hey, it's Dr. Phil back again with you. After almost 4 decades of dealing with families and people and little kids, I want to share a little bit of experience I have on parenting. And I'm a parent of 4 kids myself. So parenting, here's the question. Where do we learn parenting? Do we learn parenting at school? No. Do we go to university to learn parenting? No. So where do we learn it? We actually learn parenting from our parents. Sounds a bit scary, doesn't it? Could be a little crazy. Especially, and again, like my parents were of the Edwardian era. My grandparents were born in the Victorian era. So they were very standoffish and they weren't very lovey-dovey and huggy and I love you, you're amazing, oh my God, you can do anything. They weren't that sort of parent. They said dinner's on the table, go and do your chores. They were parents whose love language was all about survival and shelter. So that played out when we had our children, our first child, Oscar. And I remember he was probably 18 months or two and a bit. And he started playing with a PowerPoint. And I said, Oscar, don't do that. And he just kept playing with the PowerPoint, switching it on and off and trying to shove stuff in. And I said, don't do that. And I was getting amped up. I was getting a bit frustrated. And I'm thinking, why isn't he listening to me? My God, I used to listen when my dad told me to do stuff. Well, the truth is I listened after I'd been given the strap or whacked or whatever, and they had to run off to my bedroom to cry. And so I gave him a tiny tap on his bum. It wasn't hard or anything, it was a tap. I just wanted to try and get him away from it. Now, don't do that. Lo and behold, he kept doing it. My wife, Maria, so he looked at me and said, oh God, you're hopeless. And I went, why? He won't do it. He won't listen to me. She goes, watch this. Look at this, Oscar. Do you want to read this book with Mummy? Do you want to read it? And all of a sudden he turned around and sat down with her and read a book. So distraction was a very good thing. The point of that story was highlighting my bad parenting skills in the beginning. And how did I learn it? I learned that from my mum and dad. What parenting skills did you learn from your mum and dad? What parenting skills did you learn from those people who raised you? If you weren't raised by your nuclear mum and dad, what skills did you learn from your stepdad or stepmum or grandparents, whoever raised you, or foster family, whoever raised you? Some of those would have been fantastic. Some of them would be pretty like, so we need to understand parenting a little bit better. Now, here's my 101 on parenting. Kids just want to be loved. They want to feel like they belong. They want to see that they've been seen, and they feel like they want to be heard, and they need to be guided. It's not hard. 5 key things. So the best thing is you think, how would you talk to your inner child? How would you talk to your little self as a child? Would you berate yourself or would you be kind to yourself? Because if we're kind, it doesn't mean that we've got to let the children run all over us, because children need boundaries. If you've ever talked to an early childhood teacher, kids love a little routine. Kids love a little bit of a boundary. They don't have to be like this thing, like a big brick wall. They could be like an oil boom on the ocean when there's been an oil spill. It can be flexible, but there's a boundary. They will push those boundaries. They will push you to your limits. But what their whole job is to explore, to activate their brain, to engage in life. So getting them out into nature, getting them seeing different colours, getting them away from this all the time, especially the ones in a pram or in a playpen or, doing that all the time will dull their brain. It will shrink their brain. It won't expand their brain. So if we come back to a basic parenting, just find some boundaries. Start to relearn how you desire to be parented. And then that's a start. But I'm going to have some more in a couple of other videos. Just digest that and give it a crack.